Hi everybody, this is Diane. I have 5 glue books finished and ready to go in my shop. When you see this video, they should be there. So I want to go through them. It won't take long to go through them because I don't do any embellishing to the pages on the glue book. But anticipating questions, because I always get questions on what is a glue book and what's the difference and all that. In my last video, I think it was in the last video, I put a link to another video that I had done previously about what's the difference between a junk journal, a glue book, and a smash book, and what you can do with a glue book. But maybe I'll link it again, or you can just go back to the previous video and find the link. But before I go through these, let me just show you what I have done in my glue books to help answer some questions you might have on what to do with the glue book. Got so many big books here. So this is my gigantic glue book. Okay, so it started out like this, where the edges of the covers met, just like this. This book happens to have 6 signatures. There's a lot of pages and a very big spine. Let me see how big this spine is. I made this. This is about almost a 4-inch spine. And I made this quite a few years ago, and it took me a long time to fill it up. I would say it had too many pages. But I really enjoyed it, and I do enjoy looking through it. So I'll just go through a few of the pages, and you can just see that I just put on images that I liked. I loved this image of the little boots with the daisies, and I put them on here, and there's purple writing on the background, and there's purple on her, and it all works well together. It doesn't always work out like that. This was probably the first page that I did, and I had done some stamping as I put the book together. So I just put in images that I liked out of magazines, scraps of scrapbook paper, little die cuts, little just little pieces. There's some washi tape, things from vintage magazines, shapes that I cut. I have pockets included, so I just put things in here. I even wrote little notes or collaged on the little tags. I have a fold out in this one. I didn't put any fold outs in the new books that I just made, but they are fun to do. So you can see this one has a lot of layers. This gentleman's face is a painting, and that's the background page. And then I just added this or this, and then just kept adding more things to it until I felt like it was done, and not all in one sitting. So it probably was months or maybe a year or more before, from when I put the first image down to when I put the last image down. And sometimes I do a whole page all at once. When there's a window, it's really fun to put something on the opposite side of the window. So here you can see her eyes, and over here you have a nice collage through the window. This one has a book inside it that I collaged on all those pages. So there was really a lot of collaging to do in this journal. Okay, so this was my first glue book, and like I said, it really took me a long time. I kind of had a marathon session to try to finish it up, and there are still places that I could do some more collaging, but I called it done because it was so big and so heavy. But so much fun, and it's really fun to just look through it, just go slowly through it and look at all of the details. And here is one that I'm working on now, and I haven't been doing much in it. I don't take the time to do the collaging in the glue books like I should. But one thing that's nice about them is it's just so calming and relaxing. There's no stress, and it's just yours, and you just sit down and start gluing stuff in, and it is just really fun. In this book, my collages are more intentional. I like to use my vintage ladies from my old catalogs and then add really nice images to go with them. They're not all like that. Some of them are just pieces that I have on my desk that I want to pick up and use, so I just glue them down. There's some postage stamps. This one tells a little bit of a story. So I have done quite a few, but I'm not even done with the first signature, and there are 3 signatures. And this was made out of a vintage Spanish textbook. And then this is a different type. This one I collaged on the front cover and on the back to kind of show you what's inside. It's just a collage book. But this was a list book. So I just put on really fun images that I liked, and I would have a list. I forgot the name of the group. I think it's a Facebook group or a blog or something that has lists for every month. And I don't remember what it's called, but I got some of the lists from there, and then I just made up some lists that I wanted to have in my book. So what I did was I put the book together, and then I went through and just added images to each page, but I left space for listing. And I had a lot of fun doing this. I used images from vintage children's books. This is an old picture of Johnny Carson when he was just a boy and he was doing magic. And I had these images, so I added them to it. Might have been from the same magazine article, I don't know. So this was a really fun book to do. And I got this idea from Paula Lazzola. And I don't know, I haven't seen anything from her lately. I used to see her some on the Junk Journal Junkies group, and she has a YouTube channel, but she didn't really do much on her YouTube channel. But anyway, she's the one that I just loved her collages. And then she would have lists on her pages. So that's why I did that. So those are just 3. And I know I've shown all of those before, but I always get questions about what's a glue book and what do you do with it. So now I'm going to show you the 5 glue books that I am putting in my shop. So here we have the big book to grow on. It is 6 1/4 by 9 1/2. All of the spines are 3 inches. And this was just such a fun cover. I loved this in the back. Now this is where there was writing. Someone had written a name and then tried to erase it, but it wouldn't erase. So it was kind of scribbled. So I just took some bits of this patchwork fabric and glued it on as a little bit of a patchwork collage. There is a patchwork spine. This came from a vintage lap robe or something. It did not have quilt batting. It was just 2 layers of cotton sewn together. The top was pieced in squares like that. And I added some dark pink rickrack. On the inside, I added a piece of scrapbook paper. There's muslin on the inside spine, and then I added this printable label from Roxy Creations that you can write your name or whatever you want to write there. And I'll just flip quickly through the pages. There's a video, a couple videos that show the pages, the process of putting the pages in. There is absolutely no embellishing. Calendar page here. There's a window opportunity here, so you would put something here that you want to see through that window, and also here for when you open it that way. And I love this blue, the inside of the security envelope. There's a piece of wallpaper. I think I was saying something and didn't finish my sentence, but now I don't remember what it was. Here's an envelope for you. You could collage on the envelope and then put a card in here that you can collage on. There are 11 signatures, or 11 pages in each signature. And here is a large pocket, or window, so you could put a card in here and almost all of it would show through that window. What was I saying? Oh, 11 pages in each signature, so there's 33 pages. 66 you know, here would be one half and the other half, so there's 66. And then, oh, whatever, 132, something like that. Front and back pages, so there's a lot of pages in here. There's the second signature. So all of these pages are meant to just be collaged over. There are some you might want to let some of this peek through, or just collage around the border if you like all of that. Maybe do some writing on that. This you might want to let some of the colors show through and just kind of put images on there that would go well with those colors. There's some wallpaper there. So you can, oh, this book, this signature has 2 pieces of wallpaper. Magazine pages. There's an envelope there. This one does not have the window. There's a lot of calendar pages. See, this one has the writing from the Paper Studio paper, but just collage over it. Okay, so this one is the big book to grow on. Now I'll go through the others more quickly because they all have the same sort of pages. So this one I'm just going to call Polka Dot. Look at all those bright colors. This one has a lime green spine with a bright orange rickrack. And I left the end papers as they were. There's a spice there. I want to say cardamom, but I'm not sure. And there's red chili peppers on that side. Some GIMP trim, and then the same sort of pages, all the same number of pages, and they all have wallpaper, scrapbook paper, calendar pages, book pages. And I just want to point out this really cute wallpaper piece. I got this in a Happy Mail recently. It was cut like that, so I left it that way. And my family is here now. I'm supposed to help my grandson put a book together. He's making a book for a class project, and he wants to use the Bind It All, so I hear them come in the door now, so I can help him use that. So let me just show you the other 3 books very quickly before they come upstairs. This one is the Topsy-turvy book, and it has Tom Thumb and Other Favorites. You can come in. And a treasury of nursery rhymes, and a really pretty patchwork on the spine, and the same types of pages within. This is a smaller book, and it measures 6 1/8 by 9 1/8. So it's a really good size if you don't want the big open spaces of the larger books. If you feel intimidated by them, this would be a good size. And so again, it's the same sort of pages. And then we have, this is a big one. This is called the McCall's Giant Golden Make It Book, and this is the one I almost didn't make because it was so big and the corners were so ratty, but they look much better with the corners I put on them. But this ended up being my favorite because I love these colors. So I just love this patchwork on the spine here, and it's got a teal rickrack, and the back of it is just so cute. A lot of the illustrations in this book were by Corinne Malvern, one of my favorites. It's got the butterfly book plate, piece of scrapbook paper here, and again, the same kind of pages. This one happens to have like a merchandise sack, so I left that end open, and the other end is I cut the side of it so you can put something in there. This is the cover of some of those book pages that you've been seeing, the school book pages. And I reinforced that because it had too many holes in it. Okay, So there's that one. And then we have Swimmy. And Swimmy, I know I haven't measured all of them, but I'll put the measurements in the listing. 8 3/4 by 10 3/4. And it's about a little fish, but the pages of the book aren't in here, maybe a couple. But look at that beautiful patchwork. This one I somehow managed to get a strip of glue on the back cover, so I just added some patchwork to cover that up. And I added this patchwork, or scrapbook paper, and a label there. And then again, the same kinds of pages within. There's a double window there. All right, so I had said at the beginning of the video that by the time this video was up, these would be listed, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I have to photograph and, you know, get them listed and everything, and I want to get this video up. So, and I have to work tomorrow, and I'm going to say that this will be listed at 2 p.m. These books will be listed at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, February 19th. Is that right? It's today the 19th. February 20th. Yeah. January. Oh my goodness, it's January. Let me say this again. These books will be listed in my shop on Monday, January 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just want to point out that this is a library pocket that was actually in this book, the Swimmy book, and it has all these stamped dates on it, which are really cool, and the first one is 1972. So I left that in there for you. All right, so that's the end of this video, and I hope that you'll come and visit my shop. And by the way, this Topsy-turvy book, I made it so that this is the right side up, but if you like this side better, do it that way and glue your things on that way. All right, so thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along on this journey. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I'll keep you posted. Bye-bye.